Okay, welcome everyone to the Battle of the Books logistics meeting. We are representatives from Howard County Library System. Tonight, your cameras are turned off, your mics are turned off, your raise hand is disabled. At the bottom of your screen, you should see a feature for Q&A. That is where you can type in your questions for tonight's meeting, and we will answer all questions at the end of the meeting. In addition, we have enabled closed captioning. If you don't see it on your screen, please look for the P-pod or closed captioning symbol at the bottom of your screen to turn the closed captioning feature on your personal screen. While the chat is still here, and we will be monitoring that as well, the preference for actual specific Battle of the Books questions is for the Q&A feature. And once again, we will answer those at the end. So I'm going to turn it over to Simone Kolnick, who is our Battle of the Books guru in this new virtual online format, and the rest of us will be disabling our cameras.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. I think we will all be gurus by the end of this. I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see the presentation. I'll wait just a moment to make sure it populates, and I'll go ahead and walk us through the logistics and rules for our event. All right. All right, so welcome to the virtual Battle of the Books 2021, brought to you by the Joseph B. Scheffenacker Education Trust, as well as the Howard County Library System and Howard County Public School System. Our goals for tonight, goals for students we'll go over goals for students, coaches' responsibilities, what's new this year, our author event appearances, and the fact that we are not going to be scoring, the logistics and rules for the virtual event, as well as the digital poster parade, which is a new feature via Google Jamboard, and other important dates, as well as parent responsibilities. The objectives are to build teamwork skills, learn good sportsmanship skills, recognize their patience, integrity, and resilience to participate virtually in this unique year, read different genres, example science fiction, graphic novels, and nonfiction, as well as increase reading comprehension and to have fun. All right, so new this year, we're going to talk about creating a Google Jamboard to be part of our digital poster parade that's going to happen during the virtual event. We want to make sure that all of your members know their team number, because that's going to be how we allow teams to huddle with coaches in the breakout rooms and discuss their answers. We'll get to that. Another new feature this year is we want to make sure that you ensure access to Zoom, the Zoom web browser, or Zoom client 5.2 or higher. So you can just, update your Zoom client to 5.2 or higher if you otherwise use the Zoom web browser for all of our members, coaches and students. In Zoom, for the client, you can set your view to side-by-side gallery to make sure that you see the entire event video during the event. And of course, we'll have plenty of reminders to make sure everyone is seeing all of the information we're bringing to you. We want to make sure we build team spirit and encourage good sportsmanship among team members, convey information from HCLS to team members and their parents, and respond to communications from HCLS in a timely manner. So those are our coaches' responsibilities. We also ask that you hold mock battles or Jeopardy style games based on the books, and you have your students compose practice questions to quiz each other during the meetings. Remember, questions on all parts of the books are valid, and contact your school's media specialist to determine if other teams from your school are participating so you can practice together. Costumes, digital team posters, and our Bob virtual background, which is featured tonight behind me and the members of my team. They're all optional this year. So you may wear costumes. We've gotten a couple of requests, even a t-shirt sample. Not that everyone needs to go get t-shirts, but someone sent us their t-shirt design for their team to approve. And the digital team posters will be a fun added feature, but they are optional as well. And of course, we will share with you the virtual background in our confirmation emails. All right. So the answer to any type of question is always the title of the book and the author. This will look familiar. This next section of slides actually from the fall session, if you attended, these are just the different types of questions. So a direct quote from one of the characters. I'll do one. I am nothing but a half-crazed, feather-headed old maid, and that's Ghosts I Have Been by Richard Peck. There's also a statement about something that happens in the book. So in which book does a family's special friend arrive inside the coat of a man looking for a job? How It Was with Dooms by Zan Hopcraft. The answer to any type of question is always the title of the book and author as a reminder. So a passage directly from the book. Her hair was yellow and her face was yellow because she had always been ill in one way or another. Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And details about an illustration or picture. So in which book does a nasty lady wear crescent moon earrings? Frog Prince continued by John Seiska, I don't want to mispronounce that.
Fresca, rhymes with Fresca.
Thank you.
Simone,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. In the chat, they're saying it's hard to hear you. So can you either speak up or put your volume up a little bit, please?
Absolutely. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let me turn my volume up for you. Hold on just a moment. How does that sound?
Good.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So new things this year that are actually very exciting. We have a Q&A event with Kekla Magoon, who is the author of The Season of Sticks Malone. It's going to take place on Wednesday, April 14th. From 3:30 to 4 p.m. So this is a 30-minute Q&A. Registration opens on March 30th, which is next Tuesday. And it's open to the general public, but we wanted to be able to let our coaches know this evening so that you can talk it up with your teams. Of course, we'll send out email correspondence, but just to give you kind of some advance notice so that when registration opens, you're aware of the event and ready to go. Really excited about, there are 5 guest author appearances in our event video for Bob this year. So that is in addition to the Kekla Magoon Q&A event. That's a separate event. So she's the 6th author who's partnered with the library this year, and that's really tremendous support during these times. So we have 5 guest author appearances in the event video, and of course they are all authors from our book list this year. We're not going to be scoring this year, which is very new, but we're going to have tabulation by Zoom polling just for fun, as well as people, you'll be able to track your answers on the answer sheet. So we'll provide that electronically and someone from your team can track the answers just to keep up. But all of the Zoom polls will be interactive. You can fill them in. And as the answers populate, everyone will be able to see the results as we go along, the most popular answer. Teams, coaches, and staff will be the only ones present in the Zoom. There's no forum or space for spectators. So grandparents, aunts, uncles, other members of the community will not be in our virtual audience this year. All right, and then I'm going to talk about just the Zoom setup and how we're going to utilize it. So for HCPSS issued Chromebooks, you can just use the web version of Zoom. I had a conversation recently with Melissa Daggett, and I believe that you will have access to the web version and the Zoom client. So I think she's looking into possible update of the Zoom client, but this was a little prior to that conversation. So just keep in mind that I think you can use the web browser or the Zoom client. So as long as you're using version 5.2 or later, make sure you update that the week before the event so that you're getting the latest possible update. And our setup for the night of the event, you'll have a Zoom display name, as we all do. It's super important. This is probably the most important note of the night. It's super important to make sure that each coach and each team member updates their display name according to the following format. So I mentioned earlier, we're going to inform you of what your team number is. You're just going to want to put that number ahead of your team name. So if you are, Amazing Dragons, you're going to put your team number, which let's just say your team number 27 for your Zoom location, 27 Amazing Dragons. And that is how you're going to be assigned to your breakout room to discuss your questions. So it's super important. For coaches, you're going to do the same exact thing, team number, team name, but just add the word coach, lowercase, right after that, just so that our dedicated techs who are working the back channel are just aware of who the coach is. But most importantly, let's just say we have a student who forgets the team name or misspells or anything, that number is really the key thing. So you could really put number 27 hamburger, it's still going to work for our internal process. For the students, we're just gonna, and for the coaches that are not familiar with Zoom, just reminding you to change your name by selecting the 3 dots on the top right corner of your photo. And we understand those are referred to as peapods and snowmen in the school system. So the peapod or the snowman. You can also do this by clicking on participants, more, and rename yourself there, and just make sure you hit okay. But rename yourselves when you enter the Zoom on the day of the event is the most important. If you're using, or before, if you can, if you're using the Zoom client, as we mentioned, you want to set your view to side-by-side gallery so you can see the full video. There's a default for the web browser, but everyone can just kind of be aware just to make sure that they're viewing it the proper way so that they can see everything. Video is optional for privacy, so we will provide an optional virtual background, but we really want, something we notice is that not all parents indicated whether or not they were for or against photos or videos when they signed the photo release. So we just encourage any team member of yours to make sure that they turn off their video if they do not want to be photographed or recorded. We're gonna record and snap a few photos at one Zoom location. And I'm sorry if I didn't mention, there will be 6 Zoom locations. So it'll reflect kind of our in-person event. We're at 6 high schools. There will be 6 Zoom locations. We're only gonna record and take photos at one of them, but given that this is a virtual event and our screen will be in the homes of many people across the county, we just wanna remind you that a photo can be taken at any point, and if you do not wish to be on camera, to turn that camera off. And if you are on camera, to just keep privacy in mind. So just remind the students and their parents to not sit in front of any personal identifiers or anything like that. We ask that you log on 15 minutes early to get settled, account for all of your team members. When you click on participants, you can just type their names or your team number in the chat and they'll all populate. So you can kind of take a roll on the side of your screen. Make sure they change their display names. You're gonna hear this a lot, so sorry in advance. Make sure they change their display names to the team number, team name, and yours is team number, team name, coach. A Zoom participant link will be sent in an email by location. So locations 1 through 6 will receive their respective Zoom links the week of the event. Do not share this link with anyone outside of your team, please. So we're not doing tickets this year. So just think of the Zoom links as unique event, unique to each location. Think of those links as tickets to this event. Participants will be muted and can chat event staff only. And we're gonna have a chat monitor and a help desk person at each of the 6 locations, and probably an additional help desk person. So there will be 3 people to respond to anything in the chat. Captioning services will be provided for each Zoom location. And currently we have 256 teams across 6 different locations. There it is. All right. So getting into how this works, how we're gonna, hold the battle this year. There are 40 questions, and those include 4 bonuses. So just to be more detailed, the 10th, the 20th, 30th, and 40th questions are all bonuses. So we're gonna play 4 rounds, 10 questions each round. The battle includes at least 1 question about each book, and a guest author is going to ask 2 questions about the books at a time. Both questions are going to be displayed on the screen. And when the teams are assigned to their breakout rooms based on the number displayed in your display name, both questions are also going to be broadcast to your breakout room, just so you're not like trying to transition and retain the information of what was just asked. Teams will have 2 minutes, that includes transition time, to discuss the correct answer for both questions. So let me move along. So just this is an example slide from a storyboard that was mocked up by we're working with a third-party production team. So this is just, again, third author. This is Dr. Maya Angelou. Ask questions in pairs, and groups are sent into breakout room. All right, so teams will be returned to the main room to enter the answers into the poll. We just need you to designate 1 person to do this. We don't want all 5 or 4 members of a team all answering the poll. They can take turns each round. The coach can do it. You can designate 1 person for the entire event, but we just need 1 answer from each team. So just make sure that that is clear as well. The author is going to read, so after you enter your answers in the poll, the author is going to read both answers out loud, and the poll results will be displayed on the screen. So we're going to have it populating with the most selected response and the correct response. Then we'll move on to the next questions for that round. And again, there's 10 questions in each round. So essentially, you're going into your breakout 5 times each round. Stacy?
Oh, so I'm sorry. Especially since this is very new, we've had some requests in chat. If you could slow down just a tiny bit.
Oh, absolutely.
That way. And just to double check, we are going to post not only the recording, but we can post this PowerPoint on the website as well.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yep. Thank you. All right. So it's hard because we're in webinar, I can't really read the room. So all I'm seeing is my screen and my team members. So thank you guys for your patience. I will slow it down a bit. So once we show the polling results and everyone of course has made their selections and the author reads it out loud, it'll be displayed on the screen, and then we'll move on to the next question for the round. Repeat that 5 times each round, and then we'll move on to the next author. There's a unique author for each of the 4 rounds. We're going to have a 5-minute dance break with a digital poster parade. So very kind of similar to the in-person event. This is a 5-minute break after the first 2 rounds, though, of the virtual event. We're just going to have music laid over a slideshow of all of the digital posters that we receive before the event. So that's our dance break. Our students can get up and eat, drink, dance, take care of bodily needs, just take a break and return to the main session for the second half. All right, so the digital poster parade, this is how we intend for it to work. Teams can choose to collaborate remotely on Google Jamboard, which you can use Google Meet to do this. This link is a hyperlink. You can also Google Jamboard, but it just tells you kind of the steps on how to do it, how to access it, what it is, which is, it's pretty much just a digital interactive whiteboard. Project files are going to be due no later than March 31st before midnight. and the team digital poster will be featured on screen during a break. Again, this is completely optional, but it will give the students another interactive touch and opportunity to display their work during the event in place of our usual poster boards, which some people might still create poster boards at home and have those visible during the event, and that's okay too. All right, so in order to access Jamboard, I've included the link here, jamboard.google.com. You're gonna go to that site and you're gonna click on the plus sign, just the Google plus sign. It's in the bottom right corner of the screen to create a file. I hope you can see my cursor. You can pretty much use the tools on the left-hand side. I created this, as I joked earlier, very 80s looking themed Jamboard, but I just wanted to play around with the different features. So of course you can draw, you can drop in clip art, you can drop in photos, shapes, fill them in different colors. You can change the background, and of course a text box. So if you just play along with the tools on the left sidebar menu, you'll be able to create your boards. We just ask that you follow the same format for your display name as you do when you're naming this file. So it's going to be the number and the team name. So i.e. 5 book warriors. Do not share the file, this arrow on the right. There's a share button where you can type in a recipient's email address. We would like for you to download the file instead and upload it to a Dropbox link that we are providing. So on that note, in order to download the file, you're just gonna click on the 3 dots for more actions and download it as a PDF. Name the document, your team number, your team name, and upload it to Dropbox. The Dropbox link is here in the presentation, and of course we'll push it out in email. And we would like to have these back by March 31st. The reason for that, so our event, of course, is April 16th at 6 p.m. The reason that we're requesting these files in advance is, of course, they have to be laid into a video, embedded in a video for the actual event. So we have to give time for production to accomplish that, but also time for our team to have test runs and do do tech run-throughs and have test runs of the actual video before the event, just to make sure it's ready for you. Okay, so some important dates. March 31st, we would like for your posters to be submitted, the Google Jamboard files uploaded to Dropbox. We would like for coaches to confirm and share their team's number and name with each team member. Just to remind them, they should know the team names by now, but just to remind them what the name is and especially what that number is. And we're going to release spreadsheets that show you each of your team members based on the location that you're going to be at in Zoom. The week of April 16th, we just ask you to update your Zoom client to 5.2 or later, and then practice changing all display names just to be, sure. On April 16th, we're going to have our virtual event starting at 6 p.m. and it's expected to end at 8 p.m. We just ask that you log on 15 minutes early to get settled in and account for all of your team members and their display names. And our parent responsibilities this year are to, of course, respond to communications from coaches in a timely manner, to ensure access to Zoom web browser or Zoom client 5.2 or later, and to change the student's Zoom display name, of course, help them with that at home. Make sure that their view is correct in Zoom so that they can see the full video. Log on 15 minutes early, just make sure they can get settled and update their names, and upload and enable the virtual background. As we all know beforehand, if you're going to use a virtual background in Zoom, you have to upload it into Zoom and then select it. If parents did not sign the photo release, we just want to make sure that you turn off your child's camera to minimize, any exposure that you don't want. And just check the FAQs at hclibrary.org/Battle of the Books. All right, and just another thank you to our generous sponsors who make Battle of the Books available, possible. Our presenting sponsors, the Josephine B. Scheffenacker Education Trust, as well as the Friends and Foundation of HCLS, the Howard County Public School System, and M&T Bank. Here's the URL for our Bob page. Most of you are very familiar with this, but again, hclibrary.org/Battle of the Books. And that is it. And I'm sure I'm going to have to, I'll stop screen sharing and I'll come back to anything that you have questions about, but I'm going to stop sharing the screen, the slides for now.
Hi, so
Okay.
I just want to let everyone know we have answered questions by typing responses. So we'll start with the questions we answered first, and then we can start going into and reading out loud the questions we answered by type. Any of you can go to your Q&A section and you should read the questions that have already been typed answered.
Carrie,
Yes.
before we start with that, since we have about 30,000 questions about the team number and Jamboard, so are they getting, do they need the team number for the Jamboard? And if so, is it coming before March 31st? Because otherwise, I think somewhere it said it was coming a week before, but if they need it for March 31st, they need it before that.
No, we actually have the team numbers ready to go and we're going to send them out tomorrow. So
okay,
our aim is, our aim is this week. What we did was we, someone on our team actually sorted out all of the teams by location and then created a separate spreadsheet for each team. So you're just going to get a blast email based on your location. So Zoom 1, all the coaches there will receive the same email and they'll look at the list and say, okay, I'm number 7, I'm number 12, 13.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to go through and answer all of those Q&A questions that just asked that. Thank you.
Okay, I will start reading the open Q&A questions. Let's see. Christy, well, she's not on. Okay, so there is a question. Can our assistant coaches also join, or is the limit 1 coach, 5 members?
That's a great question. Just because give or take, the teams have 5 members, not everyone does. So I kind of defer to our committee, but I would say it's fine for the assistant coach to join the forum.
Okay, next question. Are coaches allowed to talk to the members breakout?
In the breakout?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. You'll be able to talk to one another in the breakout to decide on the questions. And I know that coaches are not going to be telling the students the answers, but just making sure that you're confirming their final answer. So your final answer is A, and just to take a step back, there will be 4 options. So you're not going to see like all 12 books listed. There will be 4 books listed. One of them, of course, will be the correct book. But absolutely, we want you guys to really huddle and talk in there. And as a coach, just make sure you confirm that they have their final answer before you come back to the main session.
Okay, so Simone, that actually probably answered questions in here. Stacy can troll through. Can the coach be the designated person to enter the poll? And since they're entering a poll, they do not have to hand their answers, they're selecting the answer.
Yeah, so because the polls will progress beyond each question, we're going to move on from the poll. So you're not going to see any like retroactive information. You're just going to see the poll results for the current question. So if you want to track on the answer sheet, just to remember your selections, that's going to be an option for you. And the coach can be the designated person to make those selections. if you feel or a student expresses that they would really enjoy covering that role, that's okay too. So we leave that up to the teams.
Okay, next, how much time for each set of questions?
So 2 minutes to get into the breakout, discuss the questions, make an answer and get back to the main room. And the production team that we're working with is going to return people to the main room, but of course you can also return yourself to the main room when you're ready.
Okay, how much time? Okay, so somebody answered that. How will the team show when they are answering?
Can you repeat that one, Carrie?
How will the team show which questions they're answering? Will I have both? I'm trying to decipher the question
I
here.
think there's, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's 2 separate polls, or the poll is in 2 parts. The first part will have the first question with the set of answers, and then you'll have the second question with a set of answers. So there's 2 distinct.
There's 2 lines, but you'll see the results at the same time. You'll see both questions at the same time. You'll be able to select both answers at the same time. Answer for question 1, answer for question 2. You'll be able to see the poll results, the correct results for both questions at the same time. So just in case that the person asking this question means, will the teams know, like, will they know their unique answer? It's going to populate all answers. So it's not going to, we're not going to show poll results by team. It'll just show poll results by majority down to the minority answer.
Sorry, I'm typing the answers. Question 5. We will only be going to our breakout rooms 5 times. We won't be going to our breakout rooms after each question. There are 4 rounds, then shouldn't we be going to the breakout rooms 4 times, not 5 times?
I think I got the math. Do you have the math, Simone?
I think I just lost the math, but
okay.
10 questions, 2 questions at a time, go.
Okay, so each, it's it's 5. Okay, 5 times. Now I see. No, it's 5 times per round, because each round has 10 questions, 2 questions per breakout room. So it's 5 times per round. So
yeah,
and then it'll be 20 times total, because
for the
5
entire
times
event.
for the entire event.
Yeah, I think the question was, will it be 5 or 4 times? And what I said was 5 times. So I hope that provides clarification. So you'll have question 1 and 2, you'll go into your breakout, come back, 3 and 4, breakout, 5 and 6, then 7 and 8, then 9 and 10. And you'll break out for each of them. Okay, she says, okay, got it, thank you.
Okay, next question. Will there be before the battle for the breakout rooms? It sounds complicated.
Will there be what before the battle for the breakout room?
We're going to run a practice battle, but maybe the teams could run their own battle with breakout rooms, would be a suggestion.
Another possibility, and I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is possible, but maybe when if you're coming in 15 minutes early, maybe one of the things we could do is send everybody into their breakout rooms for just like a quick test real fast before we start. I don't know if that'll work.
I think Simone's tech team is going to be setting everybody up at that time. So there will not be
our tech team. Yeah, just to give, that's a really great question though. And I can ask the tech team when we're ready to start the questions, if we want to just send everyone into their breakouts, bring them back before we roll into the first author in the first round of questions. But as far as when you don't, someone says, trust me, your 5th graders know how to use breakout rooms. But as far as when you join the event, our techs are going to be grabbing numbers and throwing them into breakout rooms. And of course, we know that we're leaving room for the folks who are lagging in changing their display names or having trouble with changing their display names. So we are really going to be focused on assigning everyone to their rooms to be ready for that first round.
Okay, so next question. We have a lot of questions again. Will the team members have access to a chat in their room so they can collaborate?
So the chat feature, yes, will be enabled in your room, and that's how we're going to broadcast the questions, the same questions to the chat. If you want to use it, that's okay, but they can talk to one another in the breakout room. Even if their video is off and they don't want to be on camera and their mic is enabled, they can still talk. So it should, and we're hoping that it's a conversation and very much a discussion like you would have in person.
So if they want to use chat, they're going to have to make sure they're only communicating with their own team members and all teams. Is that correct?
So that's brings up a really great point. Teams and coaches will not be able to chat to the general chat. You will only be able to chat to the chat monitor and the tech help people.
So don't chat, talk.
So the answer is no chat.
No chat. And I don't know if when they go into the breakout, yeah, they won't be able to do that. Yeah, they won't be able to access that. They'll see the questions.
And quite honestly, if you're in a breakout room, it's a lot faster to talk than trying to type. So you're gonna want to talk, not type.
My biggest piece of advice, just because of the excitement and all of the movement, is that coaches, before you leave, get that final answer. Like,
Yeah.
you know, are we, this is what we're going with? Great. So when you get back to the room, there's no issue.
Our project files.
I caught project files and not the beginning. I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
What are project files?
For the Jamboard.
Oh, what are project files?
Yes.
So when you when students collaborate on a Google Jamboard document, like I showed you my very neon creation I made, the file is the PDF that you download. So you're going to download the PDF and you're going to upload it to the Dropbox link that we've provided. So that is the project file.
And I'm just going to throw in a related question from the chat, and because it said one submission per team, and the answer to that is yes. Only one Jamboard per team, correct?
Absolutely. Just as if you were parading into the event, you'd have one poster per team.
And it is not required, it is optional.
Okay, and another Jamboard
Totally
question.
optional.
Another Jamboard question is Jamboard both with HCPSS Google accounts and
Did you say is Jamboard with HCPSS accounts?
They want to know if they can access the Jamboard school system Google account and outside of their school system.
It's my understanding that the students have access to Jamboard. Actually, this idea came from a parent who suggested that the students still have their poster parade during the virtual event and based it on the fact that they have access to Jamboard. But I would definitely confirm that with your students just to make sure that they're all set.
What we have to remember though is we have some teams that are not from the school system.
Well, so when I created that Jamboard today, I went to google.jamboard.com to be able to create it. So however they join their team to collaborate on that, they'll have to iron out, but you can access it without, yeah.
Okay, so the answer is people without school system Google accounts can.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
I did that today. I don't have a school system.
Okay, cool.
Google account.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the breakout rooms versus main room?
Absolutely. So when you join the Zoom and you see the video and you have a gallery of like all of the different people who are on the Zoom, that's separate from the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms are just that, private rooms for you to break out to with your teams, and our tech team is going to send you to your breakout room. When you get to the breakout room, the only people who are going to be visible are members of your team and the coach. So you will not see anybody else in the event until you come back to the main room. So imagine if you were in person and you were in the gymnasium. I'm sorry, guys. if you are in person and I mean, my lights are, if you're in person and you're in the gymnasium and then your team goes and breaks out in a small classroom in the building. It's kind of what's happening, but virtually.
Will students be able to a Dropbox from their ASS accounts? I would think so.
I would think so. I'm not, it's a very general Dropbox. There are no like parameters. I haven't, required any special permission or access. So it's the link to the site. So I hope so. But if there's any issues with that, of course, just email us or call us and we'll be able to assist you.
Okay. Are there fixed dimensions, length, width, asked for the digital poster?
No, it should, the standard settings that are in there when you go to create is all that we need you to download. So I did not grab the specs for that, but as long as you don't change that or adjust it, you should be fine. And again, if you have any issue, sending it to us, if there's a way to like make it much larger, please don't do that because I figure that'll probably be a hiccup or something down the line. But yeah, if you just go in and create a standard Jamboard and download that PDF, it should be fine.
To clarify, are coaches in the room with the team or are they just waiting in there? Their team has questions. So they want to know if they're in that break their team.
The coaches are in the breakout room with the team. So when you change your display name and it says the number, your team name, for coaches is going to say the number, the team name coach. That means you're going to that same room number during breakout. So if your team number is 17, your whole team and the coach are going to breakout room 17.
I think the question wasn't literal, it was more philosophical. So they're going to be in the breakout room. Are they allowed to talk to their team or they just?
Yeah, absolutely. But just again,
not feeding answers.
Not giving them the answers, but definitely talking with them and of course letting them do the talking and confirming their final answer.
So more like a facilitator as opposed to a participant.
Correct. Yes.
Sorry.
Do you want me to read while you're typing, Carrie?
Sure.
Okay, I'll read you type. Would it be possible to show an example of the answers that are expected in the poll? Will they be multiple choice?
Yes, so there, and I apologize, I know I kind of went through the slides a little quickly, but it'll just be the question and then 4 choices under. So book 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I would think the correct answer would be the poll result with the highest amount.
Well, not the polls. So basically it's a multiple choice question is what she's asking. And the answer
out of 4
yes.
choices, yes.
Yes, you got 4
out of 4 choices, not out of the 12 books, correct.
Okay.
The poll result will not be the you will tell the real answer. There may be 250 responses with the wrong answer.
With
that
the wrong
make
answer.
It the right answer.
Exactly.
So the right answer will be announced.
Yeah, it's called on the production side of things, it's called picture in picture. So there's a box, let me turn the right way. There's a box up here where the author is going to be saying the correct answer as well as displaying it, and the poll results will be under showing how many people got the right answer.
Okay. All right, next question. If the video is not compulsory, how are we going to make sure that no cheating is happening? Is that
so one of the go ahead.
I was going to say, are we just going to assume the best of all people?
Yes, and I wanted to go back to the beginning of this. We talked about highlighting the integrity it takes to have an event in a virtual format, the flexibility it takes to have an event in a virtual format, and just that sort of cooperation. So we want to assume the best in everyone. And if you're going into a virtual breakout room and talking to your own team, if cheating is going on in your home, I think that we assume most students are not, we don't know how many students are going to be together versus in their homes and on Zoom. But we want to expect the best from people and definitely encourage students to uphold integrity for this event. As coaches, encourage your students to be honest.
Okay, next one. How do we know if parents of our team members did or did not sign the photo release?
It would be based on individual questions, but at this point, everyone's information that we need has been received. Just the selections are not all complete. So if you would like to ask, you can send that our way, but I think that we have a good workaround in reminding people through the chat verbally, through the video, as well as our email confirmations to turn off their videos if they know. Just like if you were in person and you know there's all these people in the gym and you know that your mom doesn't want you being photographed, you don't step into the shot of a photo. So we kind
Right.
of count on them to do that.
And also, I mean, the parents of the team, the parents are going to be with that child, so hopefully they would know to turn it off. So, okay, do we have to purchase Jamboard?
No, you should not. It's up to you if you want to use any like additional feature of Jamboard that costs money, but it was a website. It's a website.
And it's a Google product, right?
It's a Google product.
so
Yeah.
it's-
So you should not, just like you wouldn't for like a Google form or anything else.
Okay. Are there rules or suggestions regarding the posters?
Stacey or Carrie, I'll let you take that one just from previous years. Of course, I mean, there's the obvious, like anything lewd or profane or offensive, we don't want to do.
Haven't had to have that before.
Yeah, but I'll let you take that one.
I think what we've said in the past is to not have the book covers or titles as part of the poster. A big difference is at this point, it's going to be almost like a screensaver when it's shown, so it's not going to show up so much when they see it. But we just ask that you know titles or authors of the current books when they're basically you want to have your team name. It's up to your team if you want to include the names of your team members, that's usually fine. But yeah, I think that was the main, because a lot of the things, the rules we had were for posters 3-dimensionally, like no feathers or glitter. You can put feathers and glitter on your virtual sign now, so that's exciting. But yeah, so like no pieces that would fall off. So there's a lot more flexibility here. Okay, if the questions are multiple choice, will the teams see their options to choose from for each question before they go into their breakout sessions?
Yes.
Oh, they see the poll first? I thought the poll didn't show up till after they came out.
I'm sorry, not before. When they come out, they'll see the options.
So the answer is no, you will not see the options before they go.
Not beforehand. You will see it after you come out of the breakout and make the selection. But because the students are so smart and they know the answer, they'll come out and be able to very quickly identify their selection out of the 4 choices.
There you go. For the book names, do they have to include the full name, including after the colon? So we usually don't do that after the colon for the titles.
Multiple choice.
And it's multiple choice, yeah. There's only 4 choices. It's not going to be that long. If assistant coaches join, should they list names as team number, team name, coach 2, or just team number, team name, coach?
You can put team number, team name, coach, or assistant coach. That's okay.
So the answers are multiple choice. Yes. We'll just be that long. It's multiple choice for both book and author. It's only going to be one choice. So you're choosing a combination of title and
The
author
correct title
combo.
and author. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just answering your question. Sorry, Simone.
No, that's good. Those are the easy ones to answer. Yeah.
In the breakout, are the coaches going to be coaching the team through the question or just monitoring the process? So technically, you're monitoring the process if they have any questions, because you're not really a team member, you're the coach. So yeah, I would say monitoring. How do we get between rooms?
You don't want to move between rooms because you don't want to join anyone else's breakout. So how you get from the main room to your breakout
Yeah, I think that's the question.
you will be sent You'll be sent to your breakout by the production team, and there's going to be a reminder on your video screen that you're being sent to breakouts now. So you don't have to do anything to get in there. You do have the option to leave the room. So let's just say it's a no-brainer, question. There's 2 no-brainer questions, and your team is just on it. You get in there, we've got it, we're good to go. It only took 30 seconds. You can leave and go back to the main room. We're not going to display the polling options until everyone is back in the main room. So you'll be returned, or you can return.
I'm just going to add a personal thought. This has been such an interesting process. Even though you guys might know the thing, you might just want to have some team bonding still in the room before you leave, because if you choose to go back to the main room, you're just sitting there. You're not doing anything. So why not take the extra time and just chat with your team? Get excited. What?
To go along with that, if you leave your breakout room and go to the main room, you're not going to be able to go back.
Right.
So
that's true.
I recommend that you stay in your breakout room.
Just wait to be escorted
until it closes, until the room closes, and you get back in the main room.
Okay. How many questions will be pulled before they go to for the breakout? So it's 2 questions per.
2 questions. Yeah.
Okay.
So out of the 10 questions, 2 questions at a time. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and so forth until 10.
Okay. All right. Can you please show an example of the poll?
Oh, we could do a poll right now. I guess just make up 2 fake questions. Let's see if this will work or not. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Do we have any polling? Well, could we do a screenshot of a poll and put it up on the website?
That's what I was going to do. I think that'll be easier. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, that'll be easier. You can see it. Okay, what does it mean that parents are in the background? Are the parents logging in with their kid, or are the parents supposed to have their own Zoom separate from their kid?
The parents are in the background, as in present in the same room or home as the student, we're presuming. So just definitely, we don't want additional logins to the Zoom, just meaning they're in the same room with them physically. Carrie, do you mind pulling up that image for us? Just, I don't want to miss the questions.
Which image?
Of a Zoom poll.
Oh. Can you see it?
No.
It's not working. Do you have it in your slideshow?
Let me see if I can go back. Hold on.
Yeah, I pull it up, but it's kicking for some reason.
How about this? While you guys look, we'll answer some more questions?
Sure.
Okay. So we've answered the parents in the background. Do they write the answers out by typing the answer? No, you're choosing a multiple choice. Can we have a trial run prior to the event? I'm so confused, forget the kids. Unfortunately not. I think it will be a lot easier than we expect. I think because before we even knew about it and I was trying to picture this, I was so confused. But then when we had kind of the walkthrough through it, it made a lot more sense. And I would suggest we're going to have the recording, but we'll also have the PowerPoint up on the website. So I suggest just going through that, and that way you can look at this, stare at the slide, and think about it a little bit. But I think it should be easier. And honestly, we're going to do the work for you. So you just have to sit pretty in your rooms, and we will bop you back and forth between the main room and the breakout room.
That's perfectly said. I was going to add that point, Stacey, is that so much of it is going to be guided by prompts, even in the script from the videos. Like, you're going to be prompted through everything. So, and you'll have chat monitors and tech help. I actually found the slide that can show an image of the polling results, how it's going to be displayed. Just hold on just a moment. Let me share my screen here.
Oh, that's right, there it is.
So can you see that pretty clearly on your end?
Can you make it larger?
Yes, hold on just a moment.
I was going to say, but the good news is that it's in the slideshow. So when you go, or it's in the PowerPoint. So when you look at it online, you'll be able to see it closer up.
Okay, so
Oh, wait,
next
here we go.
question, Stacy.
Wait, oh, that's about the same size. Oh, there we go. I don't think it's going to get bigger.
I tried to zoom into it, but it is there. It just shows you first question, 4 options, second question, 4 options.
Okay. For those of us not familiar with Zoom and the polling feature, can you provide some screenshots of what this will look like for our students? That was what we were just trying to show you. It is going to be in this the PowerPoint, so you can look at that page on the PowerPoint. Could you consider just one practice question at the start?
Absolutely. I think that's a great suggestion. So we'll do that. We'll plug in just a generic practice question, send you guys into breakouts to discuss and enter.
I think that's a good idea. I think that'll make people
More
calmer.
comfortable. Yeah. and also in we've gotten a really in-depth look at the scripts and the transitions for this event. You can see the progression. Like by the time we get through round 1, everyone's going to be much more comfortable, and have a command of the event.
Okay. Can you record a mock trial in Zoom so we could see how all of this is going to look? I'm going to guess probably not at this point.
I will see if it's possible to do during one of the run-throughs and release, since we'll be there, going through the actual video, because that'll be the most helpful. We'll see if that's possible to get it up. But again, we can, definitely try to do a test run before the event starts on the event day.
Okay. Will the bonus questions count for more points than the regular questions? What differentiates a bonus question from the others? Well, back in the day, the bonus question was worth double the points. It was worth 4 points instead of 2 points, and it was harder. But since there are no points, it is just a harder question. So we're just ending each round out with harder questions. Can you do a mock session, record, and share how it works? We just answered that. We will try, but we can't promise. Can the students, oh, wait a minute. She's answering questions and my screen's going up. Can the coaches and students have air practice to be prepared? That's up to you all. I don't know how Zoom accounts work in the school system. There's a lot of people out there who have Zoom accounts if you want to create your own, but we're not going to be able to provide all of that at this point. Wait, I just lost. Will there be I know I lost my place. You showed the poll of 2 questions with okay, you guys have to stop answering the questions so fast.
Sorry.
Everyone's internet service is not equal. What is the plan to deal with the bad lag? Cross your fingers and hope for the best.
Well, they're going to get it in the breakout room, correct?
Right, you have 2 minutes, so that's a fairly long time.
And if there's any technical issues, use the chat to communicate with the tech
yes,
team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'm confused about how students will learn the answers to the questions. Are they reading the answers on the poll, or is the author announcing the answers? So what'll happen, you'll go in your, correct me if I'm wrong, Simone, you'll go into your breakout room, you'll discuss what the answer is, you'll come out, you'll get the poll, once the poll is, people have answered the poll, then the author will announce the answer.
Yes, and they will also be able to see the poll results populate. So the author is going to announce the answer, the right answer will be displayed, and the polling results will be displayed, correct?
Okay. Will the breakout room show the 2-minute timer? Don't they get a warning?
There will be like a 30-second warning that you're getting ready to be returned to the main room.
Okay. Is there some animation or video that explains breakout rooms, main rooms, etc., so I can show it to the kids?
Absolutely. So Zoom has a video for almost every feature. So if you can Google, and we can also post a YouTube link for like how do Zoom breakouts work, how do Zoom breakouts look, and you're more than welcome to share that with your students. So you can either Google it, but I'll make sure that we add it to our website as well, just so you can see it in action.
Okay. We answered the timer question. Does the coach give the final answer after coming back from the breakout room? We have a designated team captain for our team who is a 5th grader. I think that's up to each team, right?
It's up to each team. Either the coach can bubble in the polling selection, or a team member can bubble in which one they want, make the selection of which one they want.
Okay. We did the question about the warning for the 2 minutes. Will all the options for answers be the correct title and author, i.e. no incorrect options will be provided, slightly wrong title or author? We make no promises to our evilness of that. It's not going to be that bad, trust me.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Yeah, there might be something slightly wrong, but you've only got 4 choices. So,
and if the question is whether we're going to have the wrong answer there intentionally, no. We're going to give you 4 real titles, 4 real authors to choose from for each selection. We don't want to add extra pressure.
That is a change from in person when we did give you some slightly wrong questions. I want to take this next question because this has come up a number of times about whether people can gather in a single home. We are not encouraging that. That is completely up to coaches and parents, but we are not and cannot encourage people to get together. In fact, the whole reason we are doing this virtually is because we are following public health guidelines. So our answer is that it is safest for all if you do it separately. Ultimately, it is your decision, but we cannot encourage you to be together.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Christy. Can the team see how many other teams answered correctly on each question at the poll?
Yes. So you're going to see what percentage of all of the teams in your Zoom location answered each question. So I hope that answers. It'll just show the answers to each question, again, not the team responses, right. the general response to each.
Right, like answer. 30 teams. 30 teams said A, 24 said B, 5 said C, 8 said D, like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Without singling out any team names.
Okay. I don't have an HCPSS account, so I'm not sure I would be able to get into the same Jamboard as the students can create with their accounts, but if needed, I will go in through my daughter's login. Okay.
Yeah, however, whatever works for everyone. I know like everything is not as, simple or accessible as it can be, but whatever you can do to work it out. If you want your students to collaborate on their own and surprise you, and you just kind of verify that their design is appropriate, that's okay too. So I want to say that the posters are optional, and the coaches being present for the actual collaboration is also optional. Some students are very familiar with Jamboard. They get in there and create on their own, and others may need someone to supervise.
Okay. Will you ask everyone to stop using their Zoom backgrounds if it is glitchy or audio is poor for some participants? With that many people in Zoom, backgrounds may interfere. Is that true? I don't know if that is actually true.
I'm not sure that that's true for backgrounds, but I understand the question for videos. And we are, even with adding some assistant coaches, maybe not every single assistant coach, again, however that balances out with teams who have fewer people, we are still, I think halfway to our capacity, a little over halfway of our capacity for each Zoom location, our capacity for our Zoom account.
Yeah, okay, so we should still be good. Where do we send the Jamboard PDF?
So we've provided a Dropbox link where you upload the PDF. So the link is in this presentation, but we will definitely send it out in an email. So the next email that comes from us tomorrow, because of course this is due next Wednesday, so we're going to give you time. Our email that comes out tomorrow with the coach, the team assignments and the team numbers for the coaches is going to also include the virtual backgrounds. We can go ahead and send that now, and it'll include the Dropbox link for you to upload your Jamboard.
Okay. Will the students have access to the multiple choice answers while the students are in the breakout rooms?
No, not the answer. So they're going to talk about the answer based on knowledge from reading all the books. When they come back to the main room, they'll see all the options.
The choice, so, right, so you will not see the choices until you're back in the main room.
No, you will only see the questions when you're in the breakout room.
Okay, if the 4 choices are not displayed until after the kids return from the breakout room, I feel that there's going to be confusion for the kids and or coach if the answer they thought was correct isn't there. How much time will a team have to enter an answer when they return to the main room in case their answer is completely wrong?
That's a really good question. If you choose an entirely different book and get back to the main room, I think I would have a conversation with whoever is making the selections to make the best possible selection and just trust that person to do that, because we're not scoring and we're not declaring a winner. It's not going to have a major bearing on your participation in the event. So I think that would be my advice.
And because the other thing, you're not typing anything, so it's basically almost a checkbox, a radio button, so you're just checking something, so that in itself doesn't take that long. And honestly, if you just check something, if you came in with an answer that you realize isn't displayed there, so right there you know that your answer is wrong, so you've got a 1 out of 4 chance of getting it right because you would have gotten it wrong otherwise. So you've got an extra chance there. Once the team gets sent back to the main room, how much time do they have to type in the answer? We just said that. In the 2 minute, is a 2 minute just a breakout time or breakout time and main room with the answer?
Just the breakout time, getting into your breakout, discussing, and getting back.
Okay, we're getting the same question over and over again. I'm not going to answer those. No, I just lost track. The coach, so for the coach, they will be logged in separately from the team members, right? Yes, unless your child is there, then you're both in the same room. Okay, there's some sample questions. We've got an answer there. Can parents, coaches send the Jamboard to Howard County students? If not, how will we work on the Jamboard as a team?
So I think the idea, if you want to work on it simultaneously, is to work in Google Meet to work on it. If you designate 1 member of the team or 2 members of the team to create it and send it out, you can do that as well, but you can share the file. So the button that I asked everyone not to select when you're sending your final document to us, you can use that to email it amongst each other if you need to do that. You can hit share. Let's say you start the poster and you get to a stopping point, you can hit share, email it to another person or multiple people, and enable editing for them. So there's options to either just view it or to alter it. So you can allow them to edit it, and then they would do the same thing, share it back to you. But just as it moves around, 1 person needs to download the PDF, the final version, and upload it to our Dropbox.
When you select your answer, is it final or can you continue to change it until the 2 minutes are over? So the 2 minutes doesn't matter because that's in the breakout room. I think you have to click on submit. So you can change your answer until you click on submit
until
at the
you
bottom
submit
of
the answer. Yeah, but once you submit the answer, you cannot change your answer.
Right. So you could click on something and then realize you were wrong and click on something else to change your answer. So you can do that as many times as you want until you hit submit. And once you hit submit, that's it. Okay, so when the team joins the main screen, how will the person selecting the choice do that? For example, what if Susie Q is picked to give the answer, but her teammate accidentally gives the answer?
What if who accidentally gives the answer?
Her teammate, like somebody else answers the poll.
Well, that student would have no way of knowing that in the moment. So we're asking you to make sure only one person makes a selection. Every single person is going to see the poll. Everyone who's looking at Zoom that can see the video is going to see the poll. So we're just asking for you to make sure one person is filling in that answer.
So that's kind of a self-selecting, self-monitoring type thing.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. And I did see, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but just to this point, one of our coaches brought up the fact that she said, he or she said that adults making selections kind of concerns them. Again, we leave this up to everyone, but we do think, like, our opinion is that it would be really fun for the students, you know, to have an opportunity to make these selections one at a time. So you can have, again, one person for the whole event, one person for the first half, another for the second half, or one person for each round. But as much as you are able, I think it's great for the students to be hands-on with this. And I know Chrissy also agrees with that. But yeah, we're also trusting the adults to not just drive.
We've been hearing a lot at the library, just among staff, about grace for the journey and assuming the best. So we're asking that all of you do the same for not only yourself and your team, but for other adults and other team members, that you're going to assume we're not going to have the go-to of people are going to cheat. The go-to is the coaches are going to be encouraging their team to do their best, and the teams are working to do their best. And we're going to assume that people want to do this and have fun, and they're going to really work hard to get the answers as if we were doing this live, you know, where they wouldn't be allowed to have certain things. So we're going to make that assumption about you. We hope that you're going to make that assumption about each other, and that it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay.
I'll add to that, along with parents in the room, just like when your students are in class virtually and they're taking a quiz or a test or even going over a lesson, we don't expect that parents are in the back. I hope not, like, you know, shouting out answers or anything like that, or telling the kids answers. So we don't want, you know, in your prep of the students, you don't want that sort of interaction going on either. It wouldn't be fair for students to be in a breakout discussing an answer and a parent or a guardian in the background weighing in.
Right, exactly. Can you please clarify that coaches should not be entering in poll responses? If the team chooses a book not in the actual poll, the adult coach should not be making another choice. The kids or the participants' coach are just breaking up fights. Okay, well, we hope there's no fights. And if everybody's in their own house, that'd be kind of hard anyway. But we would encourage that the team members take turns being the ones to answer. It's possible for the coach if needed. But again, if we were in person, it would be the student members who are being the recorders. So talk with your team members and see what you can do. But having the coach enter the answer is really the last resort. And maybe, I mean, you've got 2 minutes, which is actually a long time. If it's something that you're unsure, maybe see if you have a first or second choice. And I'll give you a little hint here. We'll be perfectly honest. For the poll, it's going to be the title and the author. So you don't have to spend as much time trying to remember which author matched which title. So if you know your titles, you're going to have a fairly decent shot at stuff. Okay. Rather than a 30-second warning, could you consider the 2-minute timer shown throughout? This way the kids are aware of how much time is left all the time. I don't know if that's possible.
So the way the breakout room works in Zoom, you can send a reminder. So we can say you have 1 more minute, you can say you have 30 more seconds, but there's not a displayed timer just throughout the entire breakout session. And we'll triple check that, but the feature is more of a reminder than a countdown when you're in the breakout room.
Okay. Can you verify that we have closed caption in the battle like we have in this meeting? One of my team members has a hearing impairment, and the answer is yes.
110% across the board. At every single location, there will be closed caption.
It's just a click of a button, easy peasy.
Exactly.
But if you're telling coaches to add that, it could be a problem. I don't know what add that was. Okay. When the team is answering the question, how does the tech select which computer is allowed to answer the question? We're not selecting, we're asking, again, grace for the jury. Pick one person from that team and that's who's going to answer it. Regarding the Jamboard, parents cannot share files with students. They will have to log in through their child or student account to see it. Oh, I guess somebody is answering that question. Thank you. That must be a school person. But is everybody
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. But is everybody going to be able to vote? And we're just trusting that only one person from each team will vote. Yes, everyone is going to see the vote. We are trusting that one person from each team will vote. And let's be brutally honest, we are not keeping score. If two people voted at the same time from the same team, the world will keep on spinning. It does not affect any outcome. It is an oops, we'll try better for next time. Just to clarify, are we submitting answer in breakout room or main screen? Sounds like we're discussing a breakout room and selecting 1 out of 4 options in the main event. That is absolutely correct.
That is correct, yeah. And I just want to add to the last question about multiple people making selections. I think if you tell your students that one person can make a selection, your team can only provide one answer. I don't think or imagine, I wouldn't lead with telling the students, anyone can submit the answer at any point and we all can each time. I would just kind of guide with one person is submitting the answer. I wouldn't really put that out there too much.
Yeah,
and make
don't give
curious.
them that extra information.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a second. Oh, just to clarify, are we submitting answer in breakout room or main screen? Sounds like discussing breakout room, selecting 1 out of 4 options in the main event. Yes, I don't know if I missed.
That was the same as the last one. Yes,
okay.
Correct.
I'm losing track. They're all sounding alike. I guess what I'm thinking is that you have discussed coaches putting in the answer. However, if the kids don't pick the correct answer and their answer wasn't showing, we have been left to answer it. Well, no, whoever was the one putting it in will just pick another one. And that's a good thing as we get closer for you guys to practice with your team. You can say, okay, you've picked an answer, and what happens if you don't have one of those answers? And you're going to let the person who is the recorder or answerer for that question, maybe they're the ones who just pick, and they have a 1 in 4. If their answer wasn't 1 out of the 4, then they've got a 1 out of 4 chance of getting it right because they would have been wrong before. So do we get to see multiple choice answers when we go back to discuss in the breakout room? No, just see the question. Will both the questions be displayed in one view, or will there be a scroll bar to go up and down, left and right? And will there be a scroll bar? Then will all the team members have the ability to scroll? Okay, that just went on. They're going to be right after each other. You shouldn't be, I don't think you're going to be scrolling. I think they'll just both be right there. Like it'll say question 1, the question 2.
Question 1 will be on top of question 2. The first question will be on top of the second question, as well as the options for each. So it'll be question 1, 4 options, question 2, 4 options.
Right. Okay. Okay. Everybody's going to be vote. Wait, we're not are we at the end? That can't be right. Wait a minute. We're getting lots of duplicate questions here. Hang on. Where do we send? Oh, wait, I think we're faster than the typers. Hang on. Will the teams, will the teams be able to know how many questions they've answered correctly at the end of the competition? Or will oh wait, now I can't, hang on. The captioning was in my way.
You will,
I lost my track.
You will know the popular and correct answers throughout. So we decided to do it after every single question. And we can combine the polling results and show these were all the results, for all of the questions, and it'll show the popular answers. Again, all the popular answers may not be the correct answer, but that's why we also recommend, if you want to take advantage of the option to track on your answer key, you can do that as well.
And what you might want to consider doing is, keeping, because that's right, we're sending out a PDF where so if you write down what your answers are, that way you'll know and you can just check it off yourself. Okay,
hold on, there's a question in the chat again.
Well, I was going to finish with these and then move over to the chat. Okay. If the length of a question is so long, then it would require scrolling. I'm trying to remember if any of the questions are that long. I think it would be a smaller font.
Yeah, and just to be, if I'm understanding the question correctly, we're pre-populating the information, so it'll be visible in the video on the screen that you're looking at, and be visible in terms of scrolling on the poll, like scrolling for the polling, answers. That is a possibility in general, but not because of our questions being, super long. There's not a question like that. I don't want to give away, but if there's like a quote or anything like that that's kind of long,
I think it'll fit in the screen.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Any prizes or awards? No, just the knowledge that you worked so hard on this and you were able to participate and finish.
But we will send out a PDF participatory certificate for all of our students this year, just like you would get any year. You'll still have the PDF that says that you competed in the Battle of the Books for 2021.
Okay, what account should we use for Jamboard? I know my kids use school accounts for G Suite. Should they use parent accounts?
Just a Google.
I think the kids' accounts should be fine.
They should be fine. If parents want to be on, use your Google account. Yeah.
Will the answers be announced after each question? Yes. Are you thinking of having answer options where sometimes on a possible answer, the title and author aren't a matched pair? Say The Adventures of Styx Malone by Cecilia Perez.
By Celia Perez, no. We are not doing any quote unquote funny business, for lack of a better word. We're just gonna have.
I'm too tired to do that.
And honestly, we don't want to create any angst. We really want the students to have fun. We don't want them to feel pressure. We know that this has not been an easy transition for anyone. And especially with the timing now of our event being April 16th and students just starting to go back to hybrid and everything, we don't want to, be tricky or anything like that. We just want them to apply their knowledge, really try, and still feel a sense of competition and still feel engaged and excited.
And have fun.
And have fun, yeah. And celebrate reading.
Yes. Okay, someone said it'd be easier for the kids to collaborate on a Jamboard on a school account because your personal account can't share a Jamboard to the school accounts. You can use your child account to export a PDF file and send it to Bob. There you go. Thank you, Molly. Okay, and live authors. Yes, we have live authors for the first time, so that makes up for any other kind of disappointing things you might think you have.
Live pre-recorded authors, yes.
Live pre-recorded, yes. But we'll have a live author.
For Kekla Magoon, for the Q&A, yes, she will be live. She'll be in person, technical difficulties and anything, it'll be live. But for our author videos, all of the authors that are participating in that have already submitted their questions and answers, as well as their messages to the students.
Okay, and we have and thank you all for all this work. It has been an enormous undertaking and has been very fun. Well, thank you for your thank you and thinking that it's fun. Yay.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Let's see, should the coach and team member coach's kids log in as one or separate? You could probably log in as one. Because not everybody might not have.
Yeah, if they're at the same location.
If you're at the same location, you could just do one, especially because some people might not have multiple devices.
Yeah.
Okay, another answer about Jamboard. You download from Jamboard anyway, then upload to Dropbox. So whichever account works, it's probably easier to use the school account so kids can definitely collaborate on the same board. Oh, we missed our thank you. Okay, we have some thank yous, and I think we've answered those. So we're going to jump over to chat. And I'm good. This has lots of other things in here. Can we know other teams' names? You'll see other teams' names on the grid, I'm assuming, when we're in the main room. Is that correct?
When you're in the main room, you're not going to see every single participant on your screen because there is a certain amount of space allotted for the actual video. So you'll kind of see like a bar of a few people at a time. And yes, their team name will be displayed because they're going to follow the directions and change their display names to the number and team name. So
you can scroll through those too, though. You can scroll through those too, right? Like
yes, you can scroll through all the participants.
Okay. As there is no scoring, then no winners, all teams win. Yes, everyone has won. We've done the book names. Does the coach have to put out their actual name or the team name as 5 Amazing Dragons coach? Yes, you are 5 Amazing Dragons coach. You don't have to put your name.
And five meaning the number 5. Yeah, and just 5 meaning the number 5. Everyone please use the numeric format, and I can't stress that enough because our tech team, they're third party. They're not part of ACLS. They're not part of the school system or Bob. They're looking at numbers. They're a machine. So they're just looking for that number in numeric format, please.
So in light of that, if your team is the 5 Rockin' Readers, then you should probably spell out the word 5.
Spell out the 5, but whatever number goes first is your breakout room number.
Right. So if your breakout room number is 14, you would write the number 14 and then spell out the word 5, and that way you will keep
and I say that to say, even if you don't spell out the word 5, if you put 14, the number 5, XYZ, the first number that the text see is what they're going to send you, what breakout room they're going to send you to.
Okay, so you just put the word "the" in front of your name if you have a number at first. That'll help too. Okay, do we have to get approval for a logo or t-shirt design? No, but similar rules apply as far as for the signs. No authors' names or book cover, book title names, that kind of thing.
And the other thing I would just keep in mind, I'm not discouraging anyone from getting t-shirts at all. I think it's really exciting, and we had one come through this week, and we got to Christy got to approve it, and I got to see the design. But just keep in mind how you look on the screen in Zoom. A lot of times, it's like your shoulders and up, and for students, I imagine,
be far back to
just be in the screen. So just kind of a heads up for them if you go to the efforts of making t-shirts, to make sure that they're visible.
And on the flip side of that, if you want to make the t-shirt as a team bonding type exercise, that's totally cool too. My daughter still has her t-shirt, and that's got to be, like 9 years ago or so. So yeah, so it's up to you, but just know that you might not be able to see it all. Each team, yes, does get their own breakout room, and yes, your 5th grader does know how to use breakout rooms. Let's see. Can the coach share a screen with her competing child? Yes, they can share a screen. No scoring, that is correct. Honor system, that is correct. Kids will be learning how to be honorable, so almost set a good example. Exactly. Official scores not tracked. No, the students will not have a list of the title and author as answer choices. It is a multiple choice, but the choices will be listed right there. Yes, PowerPoint will be shared on the website. Thank you, Pooja, for saying that we are patient. And there will be the 2 minutes to talk about the 2 questions. Their winners are not decided because there is no scoring, so there are no winners, except that everyone is a winner for participating. Let's see.
think Stacy, I think we've hit all the questions now. I think we're just
Okay.
a lot of repeats.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think all the questions that are in the, sorry, I'll put my camera back on. All the questions that are in the chat and the Q&A, we'll go through those and add to the FAQs page on the website. So we will put that there. And again, the PowerPoint and the recording of this will go up as well.
Yep. And there's some question that you answered.
Great questions, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate the about the books. People asked about donating them back to the library. Please don't.
Yeah, we're not accepting book donations right now. And I would say if you would like, that's a lovely sentiment. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So you might want to contact your media specialist if they would want them, or we also have Better World Book bins at our Miller and East Columbia branches near the exterior book drops, and you can drop them there.
And I know a lot of teams in the past have, the students wanted to keep a copy of their favorite book, so you could just distribute it for their home library. If you know somebody that has one of those little lending libraries, that's a good place for them. But yeah, we've got lots of them already. So yes, somebody just said little free library in your neighborhood. That would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to add a quick note about the Kekla Magoon event. We're going to release that as well tomorrow to Bob coaches only. We're not going to put it up yet for everyone. But when you register for that event, there's going to be a field to preload a question for Kekla. So if your students, just give them a heads up. If they have a question in mind, or you have a question in mind, go ahead and add that to your registration. But you'll also be able to ask questions live during the event, but just if you want to get ahead of it. And we're also going to add a field just asking whether or not the student is a participant of Bob this year, since we're opening it to the general public. So just a heads up. And thank you again for the amazing questions. We really are like super excited about the event, and we're trusting that it's going to go really well and hoping that it does. So really appreciate all of your efforts to coach students during this time.
All right. Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.